I'm here at the Exotic Wedding Planning Conference in Barcelona, which is a conference for wedding planners of all different types and all abilities within their career. And there's a large set of speakers here, all with different experiences, advice and knowledge to share with us. And in this interview, I'm chatting to Costanza Giaconi. Costanza, thank you for joining me today. I've got some questions for you, and the first one that I really wanted to do was get you to just explain who you are and what you do.
Okay, this is easy. Thank you. Of course, I am Costanza Giaconi, the owner of Bianco Bouquet Weddings, a wedding planning company based in Florence, Tuscany, in Italy, of course. And I work in the wedding industry since 7 years, and I work in luxury weddings. When, in my opinion, the word luxury is not just about the budget of the weddings, but it's about the service, because my goal is to offer to my clients a wedding that is an experience, an authentic Italian experience. So that's what luxury means for me.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, that was a great description. Thank you. And you're right, luxury shouldn't be all about the budget. It should be very much about the experience and the story that is being told. So I like that description. Thank you. So when I was doing my research for this interview, I was quite interested to read about the fact that you offer quite a full package within your company, because you have a wedding designer and you have wedding assistants. So you offer planning and design as your packages rather than just planning or just design. So I wanted to ask you about that business decision to do both and just how it's impacted your business.
Yeah, this is something new for me too, because it's just from 1 year that I offer also the design service. I am a planner, so I am very open with the coordination and the planning itself.
Yeah.
But I'm not a designer. Even if I have an artistic background, I love beautiful things, I love the wedding design, I couldn't offer this service before since last year. So some of my clients started to ask me about the design,
right,
etc. So I decided to increase my team with a colleague that could offer this design service too. So I tell you, my business increased, because now I can offer just the basic package of the full planning and coordination, but also the design service. So I'm very happy about that.
Fantastic, and that's something that we talk to our students about, but the important thing I picked up here was that you know your limitations. You're a planner, not a designer. So although it's impacted on your business in a good way, you've made sure that you've left the design to somebody that's a designer rather than trying to do both. So that's a good lesson to learn. You know your limitations, but you also want to grow your business, so it worked for you. Okay, so we've trained many planners and designers over the years at the Academy. And one thing we find our students do struggle with quite a bit is the business side of it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that side rather than the actual planning and design of weddings. And what I really wanted to ask you is what the key skills are that you believe are required when you first sit down and start talking to a client.
That's hard. And
yes.
In my opinion, there's not one key skill that a planner should have. Everyone has its own, the personal skill. I am a listener, and in my opinion this is a very important part of our work. We have to sit with the clients, and before starting to sell our service, it's important to listen what they want and what are their wishes. In that way, we can then, in a second moment, sell our services. Because if we are not aware of who they are and what they want, it's very difficult to have their trust then.
Sure. So what I'm picking up from that is probably one of the key skills you need as a planner is the ability to be able to listen.
Yeah.
You can sell later, but you need to be able to listen to what it is your clients are telling you. So definitely something that's important from a planner's perspective. Okay, so what are the types of questions that you would ask a client when you're trying to create a wedding that's going to be something that they're going to love and really truly reminiscent of them? What are the types of questions you would then ask your client once you've spent your time listening to them, especially with some clients who it's a little harder to get the information out of them and you have to ask clever questions to get that information from them?
Yeah, of course we need to ask the most important informations and the questions that are the when, where,
of course.
How many people, the budget. But I always ask something more to the couple. For example, something that could help me to understand who they are, like how they met, since when they are together, how many years, and what they like to do together, how they imagine their wedding. These are all important informations that help us to create then a wedding that represents themselves.
Okay, so from your perspective, it's really important to get to know and understand who they are as a couple, what their story is, what they like to do, maybe where they like to go and eat if they go to restaurants, where they go on holiday. Really understand who that couple are so that you can plan a wedding that's really reminiscent of them. Perfect. So all wedding planners want to produce a memorable event, as we all do. What do you consider are the essential ingredients that go into creating a memorable event?
Have a good planner.
Of course.
And have good suppliers. In my opinion, suppliers are our power. So we can think about something big, something very emotional for the couple, but we need to have a team to work with that we trust and that we are sure about the result. So the suppliers are the first things that we are to be sure about.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense, because at the end of the day your suppliers represent you.
Yeah.
And they should understand who you are and the type of events that you plan, and it should all work, be like a seamless production, which if you have good suppliers, they know what you're looking for, they know how you work, and they know the types of clients you work with. So that's great advice. So I know something that many of our viewers and students struggle with is the ability to translate a vision into their mind, into something that the clients will really understand. A lot of our clients aren't very visual. They can't see what we see as the experts within the industry. So how do you translate your vision into something that the client will really see, understand and feel?
Yeah, this is a very important part of our work, and I usually use mood boards that or inspirational pictures, something that can help our clients to understand what we are saying, because for us it's very easy
to visualize.
If we talk about a huge pink centerpiece, but the client then doesn't know what we mean. And so I love to use mood boards, and I find them very useful. Pinterest is also...
Of course.
Yeah. Brides started to have Pinterest boards too, and I love that kind of bride because it helps us also to work better. And that's also something that Raffaella, my designer, helped with.
Of course.
She's amazing with that.
So really it's about creating a visual for your clients, that they can really see all the different elements coming together, and you find Pinterest is quite helpful for that as well. Yeah, perfect. So since starting your business, what would you say have been your most significant challenges and your most significant triumphs?
The challenges to find the first clients, because when you start a new business, it's always very difficult to find your place in the market, in the business. But of course, the most difficult challenge is to maintain the place in the business. I remember other triumphs and challenge too were to survive after a huge Indian weddings, and maybe we will talk during the conference about that, and also to find a good team to work with. this is really a triumph, because I am a planner, I'm the owner of the company, but I couldn't do everything by myself. So it's very important to find people that can support you, that is very similar to you, and that you can share the same professional.
Of course, and the same vision as well. So really, that's quite a challenge as well as being a triumph. It's a challenge finding the right team, but it's a triumph once you've found the right team to surround yourself with. So, no, I completely understand that. So, one last question I have for you. Working in the wedding industry is not for the weak. You have to be quite strong-minded to work in the wedding industry. So, what advice would you have for somebody looking to start their career as a wedding planner?
This I would repeat the Instagram tip to believe in who we are and what we do. Absolutely, this is the most important thing, to be aware of what we do, to be sure of what we say to the clients. This is one very important part of our work. But of course, not just for a planner or a designer, but
anybody.
Since you start your own business, you have to take care of your how you approach the client.
Yes. No, that's good advice. You do need to believe in yourself. You have to have confidence. You have to know where you are in the marketplace. And as you quite rightly said, with one of the challenges, finding new clients, it's all about knowing where you fit into the marketplace. And I think that's quite important too. So thank you for taking time out of the conference to speak to me, Costanza. We are always delighted to talk to other professionals and see their viewpoints and see what they've got to say for all of our viewers and for our students as well. So thank you for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. We will be speaking to all of the speakers here at the Exotic Wedding Planning Conference, as well as Costanza. So make sure you tune into our channel to watch the rest of the interviews.